This is a list of classes which are underrated or underused. They're not in any particular order, but there's just a bunch of classes which are quite good but aren't used as much as they should be. And the first class we'll be looking at is Ultra Elemental Warrior. Now admittedly it can be quite difficult to get as it can require either 2400 ACs or being a member and then farming 7 reputations. Now 7 reputations sounds like a lot, but actually some of them are really easy reputations. Now as for the DPS, it's actually a really good soloing class. It's not quite as good as Void High Lord, but it's quite close considering you know how much easier it is to get than VHL. Look at the damage per second right now, it's hitting 8,000 damage per second. And now 9,000, 10,000 damage per second. And this is only with a 30% damage boost and Spiral Carve. And it's also capable of soloing Primarch, which is pretty crazy to think about. And next on the list we have SwordMaster. Now SwordMaster is actually criminally underrated because it is great at soloing high damage monsters because of its insane dodge and stun. If it's not an ultra boss, it can solo it. And it only costs 2000 Legion tokens, so it is quite easy to get, but it's still super rare to see, which is surprising. The only thing it is lacking is a bit of DPS, but even then it's not too bad. I definitely recommend getting it if you want to kill pretty much any high damage boss. By the way, I'm using 3 Thief Enhancement, 1 Luck and Spiral Carve. The next class on the list is Vamp Lord. Now, this is a weird one because it used to be one of the most used classes in the game, because it was a fantastic farming class, and it still is a really good farming class, but nowadays it's super rare to see, and you're more likely to see Master Ranger than you are Vampire Lord. Thankfully, it is coming back soon as it's a seasonal class, and hopefully you'll see a spike in usage again. You could somewhat blame this on Archfiend, as it has dominated the farming scene for quite a while, especially because of how cheap and easy it is to get. Also, make sure to use Health Vamp on this instead of Spiral Carve, otherwise it won't do as good. The next class is Cryomancer. Here, Cryomancer slash in Frozen Ruins by doing a few dailies, and overall it's actually pretty easy to get. And as for DPS, it is a great soloing class, especially considering how easy it is to get. Now this class is especially good with some of the new enhancements like Smite. With Smite you can get like up to 30k crit on the 5 skill, as Smite enhances your 5 skills damage by up to 500% I think. So definitely worth using if you don't have a good soloing class already, and it's also super easy to get. It only takes about like 5 dailies if you're a member and 7 if you're not a member. Now before I go into the final class, I would like to give some honourable mentions. First honourable mention is Lightcaster. Now it only costs 1k ACs, has one of the best solo DPS in the game, and you know it's just really easy to get, but you know it's not that used anymore. It used to be like a super used class, but nowadays you rarely see if you go into Yolga or if you go into some boss battle or whatever. Another honourable mention is Chaos Slayer, which once again used to be super common but rarely seen nowadays, and is arguably one of the most underrated rank 10 reputation classes there is. And also Chaos Shaper. I didn't include Chaos Shaper in this because it requires like 15 months of membership, but it's actually a really good class and you know not used that often. It'd be great if they can reduce to maybe like 6 months membership or just 3 months, because most people won't buy membership just for that class. And final honourable mention is Ultra Omni Knight. Now Ultra Omni Knight is coming back soon, I think in November. Get it then, I'll make a video on it, and yeah. And for the final class on the list, we have Unchained Rockstar, aka Dark Metal Necro, aka other various names. Now this class is semi-rare. It comes back anytime there's like an event with a band or something, like Alice in Chains or whatever. And when it does come back, definitely pick it up. It is an amazing soloing class. Its DPS can reach some insane numbers. As you can see, it hits 40k crits, and its DPS can go up to Void High Lord's level if you know how to use it. It can be a bit tricky to learn to use it properly and get good at it, but once you do, it's very rewarding, and as you can see, insane DPS, 10.5k DPS right now.